G'day, I'm Ash. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. Welcome back to War Thunder, and today we are playing the FJ4B VMF 232. Essentially, this is an event vehicle, came out of 1.79 Project X, and it was the main reward for a good old summer event in 2018. It's been 2 years already. It feels like just yesterday that this vehicle was introduced. Everyone talks about it. I never really got around to flying it a whole lot. I did my initial sort of video on it, or I think I did did something, or preview video or something along those lines. But this thing is fantastic. It's 8.7. It doesn't turn very well. It's very heavy, very sluggish, very slow to respond. It doesn't roll well. But it's a decent, stable platform that can hold a decent amount of stuff. Now, it's got a Wright J65W16A engine, and it is air-cooled. There's a massive scoop at the front, and it looks different from a Sabre, and I kind of like it. I kind of adore this thing. What I'm packing underneath this thing is I forget the name of them, the missiles, the 114 FFAR Mighty Mouse rockets. And today we're playing on Alternate History Krimsk, one of the more interesting maps. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the best one, but it is something that you can actually do decent ground attack on, which is the primary use of what I'm going to use this vehicle for. However, it comes at a twist. While all of the team is busy climbing away and I'm responding to someone in chat, it's important to note that this vehicle is really just a Korean War naval fighter. You know, you can hold 250-pound bombs times 6 to 1,000-pounders, a whole host of different other setups. Obviously, I talked about the Mighty Mouse missiles. You can even go with 76 Mighty Mouse rockets with 2 AIM-9Bs, which is a fantastic setup. However, I haven't unlocked that at this current time, although when the video comes out, I've already unlocked it because I've been grinding today. And I've unlocked myself the A4B. The interesting thing is about the grind for America is it is so expensive. It's one of the most expensive things that I've ever personally looked at, and it just, I don't know, it just really irritates me, because America's top tier, right? Research points per tier for aircraft. America at rank 6 is the highest out of any other nation. Why is that? Because they have 10 jets compared to every other nation. Germany has 6, Russia has 5, UK has 7, Japan has 3, China has 6, Italy 4, France has 5, and finally Sweden with 4. But the biggest problem here is that at rank 6 for America, 3.89 million research points just to get where you need to get. And so as a result, I find myself taking out a mixed ordnance loadout. So I've been doing this with a G91YS as well, and just ground pounding a bunch before engaging the other air targets. But it's particularly interesting when you break it up tier by tier. And obviously here you go. These missiles are fantastic, especially inboard ones. Just aim and adjust a little, nearly crashing the ground there. I've done that a couple of times, actually slamming to the ground with this thing. I don't know, I just find this aircraft really stable platform and really well done. So it goes outer to inner, and that's how the missiles launch. They fire 2 at a time, 1 each side of the wing. I suppose that's to balance and counterbalance against each other. Mind you, the team is absolutely falling apart around me, and I don't really care. I'm off having a great old time killing ground units over here. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but as you can see, with the amount of missiles you have, or should I say rockets, the 114 of them, there is no way you're not going to get a decent amount of kills. I don't know, there's something about this vehicle, I just adore it in many, many formats. The 420mm Browning Colt Mark 12 Mod 3 cannons is a bit of an issue. They're shotguns, essentially. They spread like no tomorrow, and unless you've got the upgraded versions of the cannons, there's no real point, sort of actually using them. Sure, you could use it in an anti-fighter role, but again, it's sort of a bit limited on what it can and can't do. As you can see here, I'm just taking out the airfield's AAA here over the side of the A point, which is actually an airfield that the enemies can land at and reinforce, but there's not too many contacts left here. We're sort of going to see what's happening, have a look around. Hopefully we can get a couple of those kills. And look where the rockets went. Did you see that? You see the rockets go flying off, bouncing off the AAA unit? Crazy stuff. That anti-air is actually still alive because I didn't actually hit the anti-air. It bounced directly off the gun shield of the anti-air platform itself. So how that happens, I have no idea. But you're not here to watch me just destroy ground targets. There is a specific point in time when I realised that I've destroyed everything at the A point, and there's a little group of targets protecting the right-hand side of the southeastern flank of the airfield coming from where I took off. And while the aircraft itself is perfectly okay, top speed, where the wings rip off, is 1,166. When you rip off the gear, it's 435, so that's a maximum in kilometres. Takeoff flaps is 620, landing is 435 as well. And it doesn't really have a drag chute. So while it does have combat flaps, takeoff flaps, landing flaps, air brakes, and an arrestor gear, it is quite slow. Let me just put it up there. Its takeoff run is 750 meters. This thing is slow. It is not going to get anywhere fast. It's got a job to do. It can do close air support. That's what this aircraft is primarily designed for. And you see these things a lot in ground forces, wreaking havoc on tanks on the battlefield, and that's something that is quite interesting. Anyway, we've got our first aerial engagement. A lightning comes in, completely misses. We're going to try and invert on him, as we're watching the team just get utterly demolished by some of those rather skilled pilots. It's at that point where I realised, do I go and actually support the team, or actually go continue on my merry way? And it's quite clear that I have chosen my path due to the fact that I've carried out this loadout. Had I wanted to be a useful pilot, I would have just taken AIM-9Bs out and actually just gone and, I suppose, supported the team and just used my guns to kill a couple of ground units instead of just doing this. Doesn't matter. It's not really the end of the world here. It does also have a 60mm bulletproof glass front for the pilot, and behind him there is a 12.7mm plate as well. An F5 has unfortunately landed on the airfield, which I didn't spot, but we're going to come in here and we're just going to give him a bit of a cheeky surprise, eh? And we're going to go one up, and hopefully we can just sort of, rocket the living daylights out of him. Fire one. Fire two, second salvo gets him straight through the aircraft, and now we realise that we're in a pretty dire situation. That is our first air kill. However, we're in a pretty gnarly situation. I had the opportunity, as you can see, I'm sort of looking over there, I can sort of see the enemies forming over to the right there. I had this opportunity to actually do something, but now it's all up to me. Do I run back to the base? Do I continue doing some sort of emergency maneuvers, or is the game completely lost? No, you never give up, and you try your absolute hardest to try and kill absolutely everything. Hunter, now gone. Another F5 is coming in for a head-on. I don't know if we're able to actually kill this guy. Spraying and praying, I have no idea what happened with half my shells. My pilot is now damaged. I have no idea what happened to the bullets on that saber. He should have died as well. That's okay, there's another FJ4, this time a regular version, coming in. We're going to go head on, and we're going to play the Rocketeer game. Going to scare him off just a little bit there, and now we're going to go after the G91, hey? So we're on our third kill. Hopefully we can actually manage to get a rocket kill. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? Well, salvo after salvo, and there we are. Absolutely demolished. Unfortunately, Sabre tries on a pass on me. He's going to try and work his way directly towards my front. Let's see if I can put some stuff towards him. G91 has gone in. The F5 has also gone in. We've got some guns that are jammed. And let's see, can we get a rocket? No, he's not going to pull down enough. That's okay, because we've got double strike. But unfortunately, that lightning is in, and we're at low speed, low velocity, and we can't do anything. Boom. There we are. Unfortunate. I tried my best despite the situation. But again, I am to blame for not helping the team out sooner. So there is a lesson to be learnt from this episode. If you're going to be grinding out, make sure you at least help the team a little bit. While you can try and, soldier on and get everything done that you need to, it's not necessarily profitable, and you end up, making your team lose. So be a good teammate, and that's basically it. Let's have a look at the results. Now, the aircraft itself is not bad. 8.7 is a good battle rating. I feel that this aircraft suffers from seeing vehicles that are much more overpowered than its own self. Regardless, 8.7, it's a good place for this aircraft. But as you can see, it's not necessarily not capable. It just doesn't quite match the standards. It's almost like a 262 versus the F-89, for example. Anyway, 4 kills, 11 ground units, 1,000 research and 7,000 modification, 58,000 silver lion, and a bunch of other things as well. Look at all those rewards. Anyway, I sincerely hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you found this one informative and you learnt something, and I'll catch you in the next one.